So hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I know it's been quite some time since I filmed a video. The last couple of weeks has been a roller coaster. So I've been kind of like shunting back and forth because my grandpa was sick and like a lot of things are literally going on at the same time. But you know, like we're here for a video. So it's been a while since I filmed and I was really upset about the fact that like literally no one was watching my YouTube videos. And I was just wondering like, okay, I don't get any views, so why just create videos? And I kind of just stopped for a short span of time until I kind of feel like doing something again. So let's start off with today's video where we'll be testing and kind of trying to figure out whether we really did find a dupe for the Huda Warm Brown Obsessions. So let's start off. Palette that I feel is a very close dupe to the Huda Beauty Warm Brown Obsessions is this one from Swiss Beauty. This is the Swiss Beauty Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette and this one is in the shade 04. And you know, like when you look at them next to each other, side by side, they look pretty similar in my opinion. And usually Swiss Beauty, they do not do a lot of dupes, like, you know, just a copy of what another brand is making. They basically do not do that. They come out with a couple of their own formulations. Maybe they refer to it, but they don't just do a spot on, you know, a dupe, a spot on copy of another brand. But when I saw this one, I just felt that it was super similar and I just wanted to know whether it is. So we're going to be trying and testing this out together and we're going to talk about how it is when I'm applying it, how it feels and all those things. Before I start off with the video, I'm going to drop the swatches of both the palettes, like a side-by-side comparison. It's going to be done in a horizontal manner and it's all going to be finger swatches without any primer or anything under whatsoever. So now that you've seen the swatches and I don't want to really talk a lot in this video, let's just kind of test it out. And I'm going to use the P. Lewis eyeshadow base and, you know, apply it on both the sides of my eye. I was just thinking that I'm going to do one palette on one side and the other palette on the other side, and I wouldn't mention which palette is on which side. So towards the end of it, let's just see how it looks together without, you know, judging a product just because you know that one is a high-end and one is a drugstore. So let's just give it a fair play and I won't tell you which palette I'm using on which side. I'll just keep doing the look and I'll keep giving you my feedback constantly, and towards the end I'll reveal which side looks better and you can see that for yourself and which side was which palette too. So I'm going to start off with this kind of like a chocolatey deep brown right at my outer corner, and ooh, this one is like really pigmented. It just really packs a good punch of product, and I'm going to slightly take that into the crease too and pull it outwards a bit, kind of like a V shape over here, and just gonna blend out the edges. I think blendability wise on this side it works really good, and as you can see I have not even set my base with any powder, and in spite of it this one blends like a dream. So moving on to the left side, we're going to repeat the same and apply that at the outer corner. And I honestly think that pigmentation wise, this side was a little more. I mean, I kind of have to dip twice into my pan. Don't mind that, but yeah, I'm just letting you know. Fairly good, but it just needs a little more effort to blend compared to the other side. The other side literally just blended like a dream. Okay, so moving on to the next color, I'm going to use kind of like this a very brown toned kind of a shade, and I would definitely say that the product on this side, it does have a good amount of kickback to it, which I don't really mind, but if you're someone who minds kickback, then this might bother you a bit. So I've cleaned my brush and we're going to do the same on the other side. So when I see both the sides, I would say that this one is a tad bit less intense, but I think it can be built up, and oh yeah, okay, it does build up really good. And definitely that this one does not get muddy and does not, you know, kind of just mix up together, whereas this side is slightly on the muddier side. So I'm liking the way that things look right now, and I feel like both look very similar, to be honest. So let's just add a little bit along the lower lash line too. So this one really, this one really takes a lot of product and it has a lot of kickback. I just wish that they used a little more of binders when they were creating it, because it's a little uncomfortable to do the eye when the powder kind of, goes everywhere. So let's start off with the right side, and when you see this one, it does not really kind of have powder flying when you're blending from the brush. So I really don't know why that is happening, but that happens a lot on this side. I'm not a big fan of it, especially when I'm doing my lower lash line, because your eyes are open, so it does go into your eyes. It doesn't hurt, but I just don't like the idea of that happening. So this side, I like it a little more because of that. And this dark brown is like, it's just beautifully dark and extremely rich in pigmentation. So actually, let's just start trying on the shimmers. There's only one shimmer in both the palettes, sadly. So I'm going to take that goldeny kind of a shimmer and apply it on the lid. And okay, this has beautiful pigmentation. You don't have to go in with your finger. See, I mean, like, I get it, a lot of people like to use fingers, but on a day-to-day basis, let's say I'm getting ready, and if I have to dip my finger into a product, that just goes everywhere. It goes on my clothes, it goes on something else which I touch. So fingers aren't really practical, in my opinion, if you like to keep your things looking clean. But if that isn't a priority, I think it should be fine. But this product works really good even without your finger application. So let's take the shimmer and start to press it on the lid. Okay, this one is definitely more on kind of the softer side, so you don't get much color, and I'm dipping literally like a million times to kind of cover a certain area. Okay, so now it's kind of showing up, but I would definitely say that this one has a little more of reflex, like it has more of these shiny stuff going on in it, so it kind of just catches the light really well, whereas this one looks a lot more like your basic shimmer. This looks more foiled. Okay, wow, so it definitely looks a lot better with the finger, and it has this waxy texture, which I'm not very fond of. If you've seen my my top 7 eyeshadow palette recommendations, so that is definitely saying something. So before I reveal it, I want you to go down to the comment section below and just type what do you think is on the left side and which palette is on the right side. I would love to know what kind of thoughts which you have right now. So you do that, and I'll be right back once I complete my entire eye. So I'm back, and for the big reveal, and I hope you guys have already commented which palette is on which side. And on the left side, I use the Swiss Beauty palette, and on the right side, I use the Huda palette. So I think pretty much you can see what it looks like right now. So a couple of pros and cons when it came to application. First con on the Swiss Beauty side is that I hate the way the product just flies when you're trying to blend. It just flies, and it's really lightweight, so it flies upwards rather than falling on your cheek, which is in a certain way an advantage, but it does kind of fly, which I'm not a big fan of. Whereas on the Huda side, that did not happen at all. It just kind of sticks really well onto your eyeshadow primer. Pretty easy to work with, pretty cool. But the con of the Huda product on this side was when you go with multiple tones and multiple shades, and what happens is it does kind of remove the previous color, so you have to go back in again, kind of like build up the previous color. And it depends on whether you look at this as a con or not. If you're someone who just kind of plays with 1 to 2 shades on a day-to-day basis, you're pretty much good to go. But with me, I use multiple shades, so that was a bit of a problem with this. I kind of had to layer and go back and forth, which I think is kind of a buzzkill. So I would definitely recommend the Swiss Beauty Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette if you're looking for a dupe for the Huda Warm Brown Obsessions. So this has been on your list. I think this is a great one to go in for, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you found this helpful and useful. And I hope that the swatches were easy for you to kind of see a good comparison between them, and they pretty much look the same on the eye. I've used both of them a lot of times, and I've come up with a lot of different color combinations, something a little more warm tone and a little more coral. I've done all that stuff, and they look extremely similar. They work really good together too. So you can definitely get the Swiss Beauty one if you're thinking of investing in the Huda one, and if you don't want to spend the buck, I think this is a great option for it. And these are like around 229 rupees, and this is 2,400 rupees if I've not mentioned. So there is almost a 10 times of a price difference between both of of them. So I would definitely recommend that. The Swiss Beauty one is perfect and it's perfectly worth your buck too. So make sure that you get this one. And I hope you all enjoyed this video, and do give me a big thumbs up if you like this video, and stay tuned. Until next time, bye.